All right. Hi guys, so as I said, my name's Zoe. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about just a couple of slides about what I did before I was a teacher. So I did some research as a postdoc in South Africa and then back here in Dunedin. And then I gave it all away last year to teach kids about science. So you guys would know Greg Cook. He was my PhD supervisor. So I came to Dunedin in 2012 where I did my undergrad in genetics and microbiology. Then I did my honours in microbiology before starting my PhD in 2016. And it was both the best and the worst 3 years of my life. So I did it on infectious disease with Greg, where we were looking for new drugs to combat tuberculosis. After I finished that, I thought, how far away from Dunedin can I get? So I went to South Africa and I did a small research stint over there, again, trying to develop drugs to target antibiotic-resistant tuberculosis. But right in the middle of my stint over there, COVID hit. So they brought me right back to Dunedin, right where I was trying to get away from. Then I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get another job. What am I going to do? So I started doing a postdoc in cancer research in pathology. So that was again about trying to develop drugs or trying to understand how drugs work and why some cancer cells are resistant to chemotherapy. So I did all of this. My parents called me a career student. I was at uni for like 10 years. And then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So some of the pros of researching was the flexi hours. I loved being able to get up at midday and then go and start my experiments. I loved being able to decide what I wanted to do every day. I loved it when, I don't know, I had my parents come down and visit me and I could take the afternoon off to spend time with them. I loved working with really passionate people at the university. It was amazingly cool to be able to spend every day talking to people who just love what they do. I loved going on international conferences. I went to Spain, South Africa, Australia numerous times, San Francisco, New York, all paid for by the university. And I felt like I was doing something that was really important. I really loved making new drugs. Some of the stuff we worked on are in clinical trials. So that was really cool. But some of the cons of being a postdoc at university. So there's a lot of pressure, huge pressure to get results. I worked lots of long hours. I used to do time curves every 3 hours, 24/7. So I'd be in the microbiology building at 2 a.m. taking a time point, measuring my cells. That was not ideal. Lack of job security in New Zealand. That's a big one for researching here. It's really hard to get a permanent job. And I always just felt like, because I love drug research so much and there's not pharmaceutical companies, I wasn't really sure what permanent job I could get here in Dunedin. Fixed term contracts is hard, and then pay scale caps for postdocs. So if you're thinking about research, it's really good to have a look at the pay scales. It's all published on the university website and you can see exactly how much money you're going to make. So halfway through last year, I was like, what am I going to do? What do I like? The things I liked about my job currently as a postdoc was the science and being able to communicate science. So I decided to go back and do a 1-year teaching degree and become a high school teacher. So now I'm a maths and science teacher at Otago Girls. So it's my first year. So just disclaimer, I don't know that much. So I did the 1-year postgraduate diploma in secondary teaching. It was all online, all through Vic Uni. Wasn't really that hard. It was only a few hours of class a day. And then immediately I got a job at Otago Girls High School. And this year I teach Year 9 Maths, Year 9 Science, Year 10 Science, and Year 12 Chemistry. So what do I do every day? So I design and teach lessons. So you guys can probably remember when you were at school, you'd rock up to class and your teacher will have stuff on the board where you're copying for notes. Sometimes you do practicals, sometimes you do activities. So every day I get to decide what my classes do. I have so many meetings. Meetings with teachers, meetings with leadership staff, meetings with kids, meetings with parents of kids, lots and lots of meetings. I get to mark lots of tests and exams. And I get to communicate all the time, both with kids and their parents. I do a lot of behaviour management. So 15-year-old girls are so mean sometimes, so mean to each other, to me, to everyone, so mean. So a lot of behaviour management and a lot of emotional support. And then I get to do so many cool extracurricular events. So I'm the teacher in charge of hockey. So I get to go to hockey camp, coach. I go to school camps. We're going to walk Stewart Island soon. I get to mentor the students. So that's kind of like what my day-to-day is. So something I was interesting is that teachers make 15,000 decisions every day. So it's about 7 per minute. So I walk into the class and within 10 seconds, I'm getting, I don't have a pen. Can I sit here? Can I do this? I don't want to sit next to Jess. Can I do this? Can I go to the bathroom? I need to do this. So constantly you're making decisions in the moment that affect all of the class. So that's something that's quite cool, and something that I didn't really anticipate was, yeah, I guess how many things I get to decide every day. So it's quite focused on like, I guess the thing I like about it is it's kind of like psychology. So you get to use a lot of like mind control on these kids to get them to do what you want. So something I've been learning about is the power of decision making. So if you tell the kids, we've got a test on Friday, I guarantee you someone will cry. Someone will definitely cry. Someone will moan. Someone doesn't want to do it. But if you say to the kids, would you rather do a test on Wednesday or on Friday? Suddenly everyone buys into the Friday, 100%. I use that at home with my partner now. Would you rather make me a coffee or light the fire? And he's like, oh yeah, coffee sounds reasonable. So it's a lot of really cool skills that you don't really think about with teaching. Oh, and a lot of just this. I thought it would be a lot of just sitting down learning, and really it's just putting out fires 24/7, but in a good way. We also get to do, probably my favorite part of the job as a teacher is, honestly, I'd forgotten how cool science was. You get so focused on what you're studying in microbiology and genetics and things that you kind of forget that it's amazing the first time they learn about DNA. So I get to design whatever practicals I want for my class. So some of the things I've got to do is we've done dissections of heart lungs and deer lungs. We got to blow up the lungs with a pipe and see them inflate. We've done lots of DNA extraction. We've done the elephant toothpaste, which is this. We've done staining cells. We've made rockets. I use a lot of dry ice to explain matter. We've done the Van de Graaff, which is static electricity. So you're getting to do all these really cool practical things that you kind of forget how cool it is the first time kids learn about static electricity. And I learn everything the day before. Because you kind of think, like, I guess I know so much about microbiology, and I know for a brief period in the world, I probably knew the most about my one gene I learned about in bacteria that my PhD was on. But I don't know more than you guys about static electricity and what is I teaching? Forces in motion today. So I have to learn it the day before. So if you want to be a teacher, you have to be passionate about learning and teaching yourself the day before you teach them. The more important thing is how much do you get paid? So to be a teacher, this is all published on the internet, you can find out. So starting pay depends on your level of study. To be a teacher, you must do, or secondary teacher, you do a science degree and you go back and you do a 1-year postgrad diploma or a master's in teaching. If you do that, you start straight away on 50,000 and it yearly increases and it's not performance related. So that means you get to move up for just turning up to work. If you are like me and started with a PhD or postgrad, so like an honours, you start automatically on 61 and then you move up every year. So working for a year, you go up to 65, second year 70, and you tap out at 90,000 unless you start taking on managing roles. So if you're a teacher in charge or you're head of department or you start doing a job like that, then you can make more money. It's all union-led salary negotiations. So it's both a good and a bad thing. It means that you can, it's really set, every teacher around the country is paid the same, but also if you're really good at your job, you're not paid more for being really good. As part of our agreement, no one teaches more than 20 hours a week. So I have 20 hours of face-to-face teaching and the rest of my week is for planning or marking or meetings and all of those things. And there's amazing job security as a teacher. So I just Googled just before, there's 286 science jobs in New Zealand right now that they're looking to hire people. So there's lots of opportunities if that's what you're interested in. To be a good teacher, you need to be science communication. You have to have a lot of empathy. Yesterday, I walked into my class and there were 3 kids crying before I'd even started. So you've got to be really empathetic. You've got to have that desire to learn new things. As I was saying, I don't know anything about electricity. So you have to be able to teach yourself content and then be able to communicate that to kids. You've got to have a confidence. It's a bit of public speaking. I still get nervous. I'm still nervous about this. So you don't have to be perfect. You've just got to be able to talk in front of people. You have to be really organized. Kids are always emailing me all the time. You have to be able to reply. You have to be able to email parents. You have to be able to know what class you're in every day of the week. You've got to be really flexible. I plan amazing lessons and then you turn up and 10 kids are sick. Someone's crying. Someone forgot their book. So you have to be really flexible and just adapt to who's there on the day and what is the main message you're trying to get across. And most of the time, I'm just trying to get across science is cool. You guys should study senior science and go to university. And digital skills. Oh my God, I thought I was young and fun and be able to use digital skills. There's nothing like being in front of a class to not know how to use PowerPoint anymore. It's terrifying. So the pros of being a teacher. Kids are funny. Oh my God, they're funny. Today I was teaching in the middle of class, someone put their hand up and goes, last night I had a dream that my fingers were sausage rolls. Just in the middle of class for no reason. They're really funny. I get to decide what I do. So I get to decide what I teach. What do I think is cool about microbiology? What do I think is cool about genetics? What do I want those kids to know about science? Great holidays. Every 10 weeks, I get 2 weeks off. I get summer off. There's a good work-life balance. Interesting day-to-day work, great job security, good pay. And fulfilling. I really do, again, it's just really exciting when they learn about something for the first time and they're like, oh, I didn't know that everything was made out of atoms. That's really cool. And you get to see them grow and I taught all my year 9s how to light a match yesterday. They were so excited. They asked me if they could film a TikTok about it. So you forget how young and enthusiastic they are. So you really feel like you're having an impact on their lives. I think if you think back to why you are where you are now, it'll be because of a teacher that was quite cool or fun, or they made it accessible to you. So you really feel like you're doing something. The cons of being a teacher, meetings suck. Meetings suck everywhere. Strict work hours, I really miss the flexible starts. So I have to be at my class at 10 to 9. Not okay to be late, not okay to sleep in. Patients, yeah, they're testing sometimes. Sickness, kids cough all over you. I've been really sick this year. Behaviour management, it's just not that fun sometimes to have to deal with, I don't know, conflict. It's quite, yeah, I guess it's quite hard. It's not something you practice in your everyday life, is having to have conflict with kids. Emails, and sometimes it's quite stressful, just because I want to do the best I can for them. But I guess my overall advice is I didn't know what I wanted to do. I studied for forever because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I did a postdoc and then I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And now I'm a teacher and I still don't know what I want to do. I probably won't do this forever. I'm always thinking about, the thing I focus on is what do I actually like in a job? I like the communication, I like the science, and I like the people. So I'm always thinking about what other job could I do that matches that? My key advice would be to network. Every job I've got has been through people that know people. So it's so important to go to things like this and talk to people and to send emails. Plan what you want to do. So like I did internships and I went and did work experience in jobs that I thought I might be interested in. And then those are the people that then go on to hire you later on. Make a good CV. Always think about how will your CV be better than someone else that's applying for that job. So when I wanted to be a teacher, I started volunteering for things at high school level, coaching teams and things. And yeah, do internships and volunteering and summer jobs, send emails, ask for help, and set up LinkedIn and Seek accounts to find those jobs. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all my advice.